podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Two-Footed Extra Pod. This is our quick hit show where I'll unpack the latest news and gossip, plus rumours in the world of football. This show was brought to you by our friends over at Liberty Shield. Did you know that Liberty Shield's VPN service not only keeps your data safe, but can also help you bypass government blocks on IPTV streaming? When connected to Liberty Shield, your internet activity is encrypted, meaning your ISP can't see or block those crucial live football streams when you sit down to watch. It genuinely is the ultimate solution for staying connected and never missing a match. Right now, you can save 25% by using the code EPL25OFF. That's EPL25OFF at checkout. All caps, no spaces. Oh, and one more thing. For more in-depth analysis on the biggest talking points from around the world of football, don't miss my main show, the Two-Footed Podcast, with new episodes dropping every single weekday. And if you want more from EPL Index, don't forget our Tad Predictable preview show or the Final Whistle review show recorded immediately after the big Sunday match. Now, let's crack on. What's good, boys and girls? Two-Footed Extra on Friday, September 13th. Real football is back. No more international nonsense for the month. Today, the funeral of Sven-Göran Eriksson was held in Sweden, and David Beckham was among 600 mourners who attended the funeral in Torsby, Sweden. In January, Eriksson had announced he had at best a year to live after being diagnosed with cancer, and then he passed away on the 26th of August. He was buried this morning. He is a legend of the game and someone that will be hugely missed. Pep Guardiola has lied and said he is glad that the hearing into Manchester City's 115 charges for breaches of the Premier League's financial rules will begin on Monday. There's absolutely no way he's glad this is happening. In a new documentary on his YouTube channel, Real Madrid star Jude Bellingham has revealed that Carlo Ancelotti once jokingly threatened to replace him with his younger brother, Job. The moment came after the younger Bellingham sibling scored a brace for his new club Sunderland last August in a 2-1 win against Rotherham. And Ancelotti said to Jude, "We signed the wrong one." 21-year-old claims the Italian manager told him he was planning to sign Job and play him in Jude's position. Fair play. Fair play. Good for Carlo. What else have we got? Mikel Arteta says Raheem Sterling is hungry and has a point to prove. Ben Chilwell is set to return to training, with Chelsea having been exiled for pretty much the entire summer. I suppose some injuries and maybe Chilwell showing the right attitude has earned him a potential lifeline back into the team. My guess would be he plays very little, but perhaps fills a gap in the short term. I think he made it clear he wasn't willing to leave, and Ben Chilwell is on big money at Chelsea, so perhaps the ownership have put some pressure on the manager to play him, given they've been unsuccessful at forcing him out of the club. And they don't want a huge wage sitting on the bench or sitting in the stands, more likely. Aston Villa have completed the signing of Brazil international Gabi Nunes for a club record fee, £250,000 for the 27-year-old. That deal had been talked about for a few weeks and is now complete. And as I said at the time, it's really good to see. The top clubs putting more money into their women's team. Mikel Arteta has said, let's see and refused to rule Odegaard out of the game at the weekend. Like, I understand that Arteta thinks he's the cleverest guy in the room, but he's not playing at the weekend. Like, he's not going to play at the weekend. He's not going to play for 4 to 6 weeks. And the only way he could play is if you shoot his ankle full of cortisone and risk his long-term future, which, given who you worked under at Man City, wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility, but would be horrendous lack of care towards the player. He said they're also waiting to see if Calafiori will be available. He won't be. He said Mikel Moreno is progressing well in his recovery from a fractured shoulder. He's just progressing. There's nothing he can do to make that heal any quicker. It will heal when it heals. As simple as that. Every time this fellow opens his mouth, he annoys me. Cristiano Ronaldo has hit 1 billion total followers across his various social media accounts, making him the first person to reach that mind-boggling feature. Yeah, because you're counting Chinese social media sites, which the likes of, say, the Kardashians or Taylor Swift likely don't put themselves up on. They also don't have a YouTube channel. It also means absolutely nothing. Like, it means absolutely nothing. He can have all the followers he wants. He is never, ever, ever going to touch Messi as a footballer. It's as simple as that. And that's the only thing that matters. He will never touch Messi as a footballer. And he'll never be as rich as Taylor Swift. Brendan Rodgers says he wants a new contract as a priority for left-back Greg Taylor. He's a fantastic player for us. How he makes that position work how we want it to look. He's first class. He's decent. He's a good player. Fabian Herzliya has been voted as the Premier League Manager of the Month for August, having overseen Brighton's unbeaten start. His first month in the job, and at age 31, he is the youngest manager in Premier League history, and therefore also the youngest to win Manager of the Month. He's the first manager to win a Manager of the Month award in his first month since Ange Postecoglou did it last year. Mikel Arteta, Pep Guardiola, and Arne Slot were also up for the award. I'm not really sure how Arteta could be, but he was because, well, reasons. Erling Haaland has been voted the Player of the Month, and again, no surprise here. Obviously, he has started the season in ridiculous fashion, such is his way. 7 goals in 3 games. Back-to-back hat-tricks against Ipswich and West Ham. He looks ridiculous thus far. Right, I'll be back after the break with the gossip. See you in a sec. Right, welcome back. So, we have the gossip, and the first bit of it is most likely entire lies, because it's from Caught Offside, and as we know, Caught Offside are purveyors of garbage. It's written by Mark Bruss, and as we know, Mark Bruss is a spoofer. Liverpool have stepped up their interest in Jamal Musiala. I mean, just go away at this point. Arsenal and Newcastle are ready to offer Leroy Sané a route back to the Premier League. I mean, the issue I would take with both clubs, I mean, I think he'd fit better at Newcastle, but he is better on the left than on the right, and Newcastle have Gordon and Barnes on the left and need a right winger, but he could fit there and he would be good there. You look at the fit at Arsenal, I mean, they could go for an upgrade at left wing. The issue then is your front three would be Saka, Havertz, and Sané. And who's getting you the goals? Like, Saka will get you 15 to 18 inclusive of penalties. Havertz might get you 15. But you need then that third spot to get you sort of 18 to 20, which is what Martinelli looked like he was going to be capable of, but then he just doesn't fit really anymore because they've become such a boring, slow-paced team. And he's great on the counter, but he doesn't really work in the half pitch. Sané doesn't really fix that issue. Manchester United have been handed a boost in their pursuit of Xavi Simons, with the 21-year-old unable to see a future with Paris Saint-Germain. I'm not sure how that's a boost for United. Arsenal and Manchester United have been put off signing Adrian Rabiot because of his wage demands. I imagine Arsenal have been put off because they've absolutely no need for him because they signed Mikel Moreno. Wages have never put United off, so that's just nonsense. Manchester United have shortlisted Jonathan David and Ivan Toney. Had shortlisted Jonathan David and Ivan Toney if they were unable to sign Josh Xerxes. So they signed the third best of the three. Fair play. Inter Milan are interested in Jacob Ramsey. I'm going to guess this is Darren Looney, also a spoofer. Just garbage. Absolute garbage. Chelsea and Ivory Coast forward David Datro Fofana has agreed a loan deal with Turkish side Göztepe after the 21-year-old's move to AEK Athens collapsed. That's a shame. I think AEK would have been a better move for him, but certainly the Turkish league is a solid league. There's a lot of good teams there. They're owned by Sport Republic, obviously, who own Southampton as well. I wonder if that ends with him going to Southampton in a year or something like that. Be curious to see. West Ham are interested in signing Joel Matip, who's still at the club because he's recovering from a torn ACL. Ashley Cole is to leave his coaching role at Birmingham to join the FA full-time and support interim manager Lee Carsley. Interesting. Ben Chilwell hopes to be included in Chelsea's 25-man Premier League squad because he doesn't want to go to Turkey. Arsenal and Chelsea will keep Victor Gyökeres on their shortlist for next Jetson use. It's just garbage. Junior Firpo wants to sign a new contract with Leeds, but is open to return to La Liga. Yeah, fair. Sergio Ramos is eyeing up MLS after a move to Botafogo broke down. The agent of Nico Williams says he's turned down Barcelona because he wanted to stay with Athletic Bilbao for another year. There will be a lot of clubs looking at him next summer. A lot of clubs. AC Milan's owners are unhappy with the attitude of Zlatan Ibrahimovic in his role as a senior advisor to the club. When has anybody, in the history of Zlatan, when has anybody ever been happy with his attitude? Like, seriously. He is the second most arrogant player I've ever seen. Cristiano is first. Zlatan is second. Now, Cristiano, at least, but look, Zlatan was a great player, but the way he carries on, you'd think he was better than Messi. And he just wasn't. Great player, but not even the best nine of his generation. Right, folks, that's going to do me for today. I will see you all on Monday, where we will have our two pods as always. Enjoy the games of the weekend. Make sure you've listened to A Tad Predictable and check out Nina and Ben on their new show where they review the Premier League's action. That comes out Sunday night. Take care. Bye-bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.